students, I am Krishna Kanjani from LG Institute of Engineering and Technology. Welcome to the online lecture series on kinematics and theory of machine. In today's session, we will learn about gear train. This chapter is very easy and help you to gain high score in your examination. Okay, so let's start with first, what is gear train and various types of gear train. Okay, so first question that will come in our mind, that what is gear train. So over here you can refer, gear train is a combination of two or more gears to achieve power transmission. Now how we can achieve that? So in this diagram, as you can refer, that if you want to transmit power from this shaft number 1 to shaft number 2, then we can use assembly of two gears. Okay, but now if you want to transmit power from shaft number 1 to shaft number 3, so in that case we can use assembly of number of gears, that is 2 or more than 2 gears. Okay, over here we will use 4 gears, and with the help of this assembly we can transmit power from this shaft number 1 to shaft number 3. Okay, so we can achieve relative position of the shafts, as well as we can obtain different velocity ratios. Okay, so that will help us to achieve different outputs. In this diagram you can refer that the position of shaft number 1 is fixed, but the position of shaft number 2 and shaft number 3 is varying. Okay, so in this way we can obtain different position of the axis, as well as over here if you refer that the velocity of gear A is slower than velocity of gear 3. Okay, so this will also help you to understand that we can achieve either speed reduction or speed increase, and we can also obtain different position of the axis with the help of this gear train. Now over here we have to remember one thing also, that the type of gear may be spur gear, bevel gear or spiral gear. So in simple words we can say that we can use any type of gear. Combination of two or more gear will be termed as a gear train. Okay, now after learning that what is gear train, let's understand various type of gear trains. Okay, so there are mainly 4 type of gear trains: simple gear train, compound gear train, reverted gear train and epicyclic gear train. Okay, we will learn all the 4 type of gear train in our syllabus. So let's start with the first one, that is simple gear train. Now as the name indicate, that assembly which is containing a simple arrangement, that only one gear is mounted on one shaft, then this assembly will be termed as a simple gear train. In this diagram you can refer, each shaft is containing only one gear, and over here if you refer this diagram, then if we rotate this shaft number 1 in this clockwise direction, then it is termed as a driver gear, and this driver gear will try to rotate this follower gear, or we can say driven gear, in anti-clockwise direction. Shaft which is transmitting power is termed as a driver gear, and the shaft which is receiving the power is known as a driven gear or follower gear. We have to remember one more thing, that it is also helpful us to reduce or increase the speed. In this diagram you can refer that this shaft number 1 having a larger diameter and shaft number 2 having the smaller diameter. So over here if you consider that the number of teeth on the periphery of shaft number 1, if we consider it is a 15 number of gear, while on a shaft number 2 we have only 5 number of teeth. Okay, so over here we can simply understand that if we rotate this 15 teeth, or if we rotate this gear number 1 rotation, that is 1 RPM, so due to rotation of this 1 RPM, your gear number 2 will be rotating 3 times, because it has 5 teeth, so to complete 15 teeth it has to rotate 3 times. Okay, so in this way we can say that we have increased the RPM of shaft 2 by simply reducing the diameter of shaft 2. Okay, so in this way we can also increase or decrease the speed with the help of gear train. Now we can also refer that we can use combination of 2 gears and more than that. Okay, so over here if you refer this diagram, then in this diagram we can observe that more than 2, over here 3 gears are attached. Okay, so this is also a simple gear train, because over here on each shaft there is only one gear mounted. Okay, we can use number of gears to transmit power. Okay, either we can use this type of assembly where 4 shafts are considered and on each shaft one gear is mounted. Okay, so this is also an example of simple gear train. Okay, now after learning the fundamental regarding simple gear train, we have to derive equation for speed ratio of gear train. Okay, so now let's first identify that what is speed ratio. Okay, so speed ratio is nothing but the gear train in which the ratio of speed of driver to the speed of driven is known as a speed ratio. Okay, so let's consider over here that in this diagram we have referred that for shaft number 1, for this shaft we have considered that 1 RPM will give us the 3 RPM of gear 2. Okay, so this type of ratio where the speed of driver to the speed of driven is also termed as a follower gear also. Okay, so the ratio of speed of driver to the driven is known as a speed ratio. So for this assembly, let's consider that gear 1 and gear 2 having RPM of N1 and N2, and it is having T1 and T2, that is number of teeth on gear 1 and gear 2. Okay, so for this assembly we can say that speed ratio, that is driver to driven, that is N1 to N2 is equal to T2 by T1. Okay, over here we can simply identify that it will be in inverse proportion. Okay, for example, in gear 1 we have assumed that it has 15 gear, while in gear 2 we have 5 teeth on the periphery of gear. Okay, so it is simply in inverse proportional. Okay, so over here we can simply obtain that if you want to find out N1 by N2, that is speed of 1 with respect to speed of 2, then it is simply a ratio of T2 by T1. Okay, so that will give you the proportion, or we can say speed ratio. Let's consider one more assembly which is containing 3 gears. Okay, so over here you can refer that is gear 1, which is known as a driver gear. Now this driver gear is connected with gear 2, and this gear 2 is connected with the driven, or we can say follower gear. So let's consider N1 as the speed of driver, that is your gear number 1, N2 is speed of gear 2, and N3 is speed of gear 3. And similarly T1, T2 and T3 are the respective number of teeth on the gear number 1, 2 and 3. For this assembly, if we want to derive the equation for speed ratio, then we can consider first gear 1 and gear 2 assembly. Okay, so now as we can simply observe that gear 1 is meshing with gear 2, then the speed ratio can be written as N1 by N2 is equal to T2 by T1. Okay, now this is a simple assembly for gear 1 and gear 2. Now similarly gear 2 is in contact with gear 3. Okay, so we can consider another assembly, that is combination of gear 2 and gear 3. Okay, so in that case we can write down the equation such as N2 by N3 is equal to T3 by T2. Okay, now if you want to derive the speed ratio for gear 1 and gear 3, because over here in this assembly gear 1 is your driver gear and gear 3 is your driven, or we can say follower gear. Okay, so to achieve that we have to simply multiply this gear, equation number 1 and equation number 2. Okay, so we can write down that N1 by N2 into N2 by N3 is equal to T2 by T1 into T3 by T2. Now in this assembly, if we can observe that N2 is cancel out. Okay, so the equation will be N1 by N3 is equal to T3 by T1. Okay, so now this equation gives us a very important significance. Let's consider this. So over here we have achieved that the speed of driver to the speed of driven is equal to number of teeth on driven to the number of teeth on driver. Okay, so this equation simply identifies that over here the role of gear 2 is only to transmit power from 1 to 3. Okay, it is not playing any role in the speed reduction. Okay, over here the speed of driven or driver is not depending on the size of gear 2. Okay, so that's why we can consider it as a ideal gears. Okay, so the intermediate gears are called as ideal gear as there is no effect of speed ratio of the system. Okay, simply we can say that how many number of gear, ideal gear we can put, that is depending upon the center distance. Over here as you can refer that your gear 1 and gear 3 are apart with this much distance. But if you want to transmit power for more than this distance, let's consider over here shaft number 4 and you want to transmit power from shaft number 1 to shaft number 4. So in that case, you can use one more ideal gear and here you can place your output gear, or we can say the driven gear. Okay, so in that case, we can use number of ideal gears because they are not playing any role in the speed reduction or speed ratio. Okay, so they are mainly useful for the large center distance, as well as they are also useful to change the direction from the driver to the driven. Okay, over here, if we consider that your gear 1 is rotating in clockwise direction and that's why your gear 2 is rotating in anti-clockwise direction. Now, if you want to achieve the driven shaft which is rotating in the same direction, then also you can use this type of intermediate gear. Okay, let's consider this example. Then over here in this assembly you can observe that gear A and gear C both having the same diameter, or we can say same teeth on their periphery. Okay, so over here in this diagram we can observe that gear A and gear C both having the same diameter. So over here you can refer that the speed of gear A and gear C both are same, and the gear B is only helping them to achieve the relative position of the axis only. Okay, so over here we can simply identify that we can use number of ideal gears. Okay, in this diagram you can refer that I want that the gear 1 and gear 4 both are rotating in opposite direction. Okay, so in that case we have to use 4 number of gear. Okay, so a simple relation we can obtain that if 1 is rotating in clockwise, then 2 will be in anti-clockwise. Similarly, your 3 will be in clockwise direction and in opposite direction your 4th number of gear. So if you want to achieve opposite direction, then you can use the combination such as 2, 4, 6 gears in gear assembly. And if you want that the power transmission is taking place in one direction, then you can use combinations such as 3 gears, 5 gear or 7 gear in a simple gear train. Okay, so this is all about the speed ratio of simple gear train. Now, after learning the first type of gear train, that is simple gear train, let's start with the second one, that is compound gear train. Now, as the name indicates, compound means a shaft is containing more than one gear, then we can consider it as a compound gear. Okay, so let's refer this diagram. So over here your shaft number 1, that is your driver gear. Now over here you can refer that your first gear is mounted on shaft A. Okay, similarly your shaft B is containing 2 gears, that is gear 2 and gear 3. Over here in this diagram you can refer that gear 2 and gear 3. Okay, similarly your shaft C is containing 2 gears, that is gear number 4 and gear number 5. So this type of assembly where more than one gear is mounted on a single shaft, then this assembly is known as a compound gear train. Now why we are using this compound gear train? So over here you will be able to obtain large speed reductions, or we can say large speed ratio changes. Okay, how it can be achieved? So let's consider that your diameter, your gear number 1 is rotating with 150 rpm. Now your diameter of gear 2 is small, it means it will be rotating with a high speed. So let's consider it will be rotating with 250 rpm. So here you can increase the speed from 150 to 250 rpm. But now if you want to increase or reduce the speed in a large amount, then over here again you have to attach one more gear, but in that case your space requirement will be high. So over here with the help of compound gear you can achieve large speed reduction ratios. You can refer this diagram over here that the shaft number 1 is transmitting to shaft number 2. So you can reduce the speed from shaft 1 to shaft 2. Okay, now if you want to further decrease the speed, then in that case you have to use large size of gear. Okay, but that is not possible because your space limitations will be somewhere in your design problem. So to avoid that type of design problems, we can use compound gear trains. Okay, so over here in this assembly you can refer RPM of gear 1 is connected with your gear 2, gear 3 and gear 4. Then over here you can refer that the speed reduction from gear 1 to 2 is small, and if you refer that the same type of speed reduction is obtained from 3 to 4. So over here, with comparison of gear 1 to gear 4, you will achieve large amount of speed reduction. So let's consider speed ratio of compound gear train. So in that case, we have to achieve the speed ratio, that is the speed of driver to driven, that we have to achieve the equation of N1 by N6. So let's consider first assembly of gear 1 and gear 2. Okay, now the gear 1 which is mounted on your shaft A. Okay, so gear 1 and gear 2, this assembly is working as a simple gear train, and we have a simple relation that for simple gear train we can write down that N1 by N2 is equal to T2 by T1. Similarly, you can consider that over here gear 3 and gear 4, they are also forming another simple gear train. Okay, so in that case, for gear 3 and gear 4, we can write down that N3 by N4 is equal to T4 by T3. Over here, you have to simply remember that the speed is always inversely proportional to the number of teeth of that gear. If you want to achieve the equation for N3 by N4, then you have to simply consider that N3 by N4 is equal to T4 by T3. Over here, your speed will be inversely proportional to the number of teeth on that gear. Okay, so now what will be the equation for assembly of gear 5 and gear 6, because they are also a simple gear train? So we can write down that N5 by N6 is equal to T6 by T5. Okay, so in this way we can consider that this compound gear train is assembly of 3 simple gear trains. Now if you want to derive the equation for driver to driven, in that case we have to multiply all these equations. Okay, so N1 by N2 into N3 by N4 into N5 by N6 now is equal to T2 by T1, T4 by T3 into T6 by T5. Okay, that we can write down from these 3 equations. Now in this equation we can refer that the speed of gear 2 and gear 3. Now speed of gear 2 and gear 3. Now they both are mounted on single shaft. Okay, so the speed of this shaft will be common. Okay, so over here we can consider that N2 is equal to N3. Okay, similarly your gear 4 and gear 5, they both are mounted on shaft C. Okay, so N4 is equal to N5. So over here in this equation we can say that N4 is equal to N5. So we can cancel out both the terms. So we will have a remaining term such as N1 by N6, which is equal to T2 by T1 into T4 by T3 into T6 by T5. We can simplify that in this mechanism. If we consider gear 1 as a driver, then gear 2 will be your driven gear. Okay, so this will be your driven gear. Similarly, for gear 3, your gear 4 will be your driven gear, and for gear 5, gear 6 will be your driven gear. So over here, this gear 2, 4 and 6, this is a combination of driven gear, while gear 1, 3 and 5 are the combination of driver gear. So over here we can simplify that the number of teeth on driven gear upon number of teeth on driver gear. Okay, so that is a simple relation that we can obtain, that speed ratio for compound gear is speed of first driver, or we can say the driver gear, to the speed of the last driver can be achieved by a simple product of number of teeth on driven gear to the number of teeth on driver gear. This equation is very useful in our compound gear train numericals. Okay, and we can simply derive this equation by using simple gear train fundamental. Okay, so this is all about second type of gear train, that is compound gear train. Rest of the 2 gear train that we will learn in our next session. Thank you.